Hi, everybody. I'm Stephanie, the Crafty Medic, and I am here with my friend Sue, who's been on my team for 6 years in there somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, and we are going to be sharing just some tips and things about stamping and specifically adaptive stamping. And that's when you have some kind of challenge to overcome. So I have a lot of friends and team members who are older, might have arthritis or have a bit of a tremor, bad eyesight, things like that. And so I've got some strategies to overcome that. And I know that's something that you and I have talked a lot about,
Yes.
Sue. And so I'm hoping that we can show you some things here today that can help you overcome some of those challenges. So I pulled out the Let's Go Fishing suite because I know you always need fish cards for your boys.
Yeah.
And this suite is nice because, or the stamp set rather, because you can two-step stamp and you actually don't have to color. But we're going to be coloring today because I know that that's something that you struggle with.
Big time.
And would like to be able to do more, but on bad tremor days, it's just not possible and you get too frustrated. So we're going to give you a strategy to overcome that. And this was shared with me by the former DDM of Canada, Dale, and he had a tremor as well, or has, and so he showed us a way of coloring. So what we're going to do is we're going to stamp our little fish in basic gray, and I'll show you the first one because I wanted to show you this trick as well, so I'm going to steal the mat here. And especially for people that wear bifocals or progressives, a lot of times because it messes with your depth perception, people will stamp and they'll stamp unevenly, and it's because one edge of the stamp seems like it's further away than it actually is. So what I suggest, and it actually applies to inking up the stamp as well, is when you go to stamp, you actually plant the sides of your hands so that you have that tactile feedback of where the table is, and then you can feel it level, and you can feel it be steady instead of trying to watch it. And then just straight up and down. Okay. So go ahead and stamp a few fish there. I'm going to make sure that we have some other pieces here because you had chosen some designer series paper. So I cut that layer. And I've got our card base. And then I was going to punch a label as well. And punches are another thing that's deceptive. It seems like it would be really easy, but because they need some hand strength, a lot of people struggle with them. So when you go and you punch and you just, it doesn't really matter, you're just punching the shape out, you've got it on the table, you can put some muscle and some weight behind it, which is great, but if you've got it going the other way and you're trying to line it up, that kind of goes out the window and you have to have all the strength in one hand.
Yeah, I have trouble with that.
Yeah.
I do better
so what
on
you
a surface.
Yeah, so what you can do is you line it up and then just hold it just a little bit, and that's just enough to hold it, and then you can either move to both hands like that or even put it down on the table and again put some weight into it.
Yeah.
And then you can punch a little bit easier. That's really helpful too with kids. The die cut and emboss machines are great, but sometimes, it's too much for a kid or something like that, and we actually want to take that option away from them. Actually, while we've got the ink out, we might as well stamp our sentiment here as well, because we're going to die cut that. I love that. Faith over fear for fishermen.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to put that aside because we're going to die cut that later. Okay, so coloring. So we're not going to try to color in the lines. And I know that sounds crazy.
Yeah.
But all we're going to do is with our Stampin' Blends, and I've pulled out Misty Moonlight, Mossy Meadow, and Smoky Slate, we're just going to take it and we're just going to go zoop and do kind of like some brush strokes. And you can do as much or as little as you want. You can do different colors. And then you're not worried about getting it perfect. That's the biggest thing, is if you're trying to get this photorealistic fish, leave that to Keisha.
Yeah.
Yeah,
for sure.
We're not going to be perfect here. All we're trying to do is get some color into our image. And then because it's going to be cut out anyways, all this extra stuff around the outside doesn't really matter. And you can even go in with your Wink of Stella and do the same thing and add some shine to the fish. So there you go.
Okay.
We're going to do some extra because we may or may not use all of them. And that's that kind of easy way to color through a tremor.
Exactly.
And Dale did it with flowers. We're doing it with fish.
I definitely am going to try that at home. It's amazing.
You didn't think you could color today?
No, especially coloring this way. My granddaughter would say, "Grandma, what are you doing? You're making a mess."
But it's a pretty mess.
Exactly. It just seems strange.
Yeah. But it works, and rather than getting frustrated and everything getting worse, you've got some colorful fish.
I avoid coloring because of this.
Yeah. And that's so sad because coloring is so much fun.
Yeah, and I love to do it.
Yeah.
I'm not very tidy when I do it.
And that's the beauty of this is we're not trying to be tidy, and look at how it echoes the brush strokes in the paper.
Exactly.
That was not intentional, by the way, those of you watching at home. I did randomly let Sue pick the paper before I showed her this.
Before I even knew what I was doing.
Let's face it, none of us really know what we're doing.
Exactly. Oops. Missing spots.
It's okay.
My colorful fish.
Yeah. All right, so when we're happy with them, we can bring over the die cut and emboss machine. Now, again, this is a very deceptive. It seems like the mini would be easier to crank, but it can actually be really hard to crank, especially when they're brand new. So what you want to do when you're building your sandwich, normally we try to build them so that it's all like nice and straight like that. But what we actually want to do is we want to stagger the plates. So then it's less of an abruptness to when you're actually trying to crank them through. And again, if you're struggling and you need an extra set of hands, you can use an extra set of hands. So I can push this in and you can crank it other way.
Oops.
And then maybe I'll hold that, and then you can use two hands on the crank.
Okay.
There we go. And then we got one little fish cut out. Look at how great that looks.
Yeah.
And then we got more little fishes. So many little fishes. How many fish did the last trip yield?
Hmm?
How many fish did the last trip yield?
None.
None.
Disappointing.
Oh dear. And like I said, we don't necessarily have to use all of them. We can, but
use them on the inside.
We can use them on the inside. We can do multiple cards, or we can just pack one card full of fish.
Yeah.
Make Lee feel bad.
Yeah, exactly. Look how many I got.
Yeah. And this lining up can be a challenge too. And kind of my best advice for that is to use some washi tape.
Yeah, I have done that because I have trouble with it. Keeping it steady.
Okay. Oh, nope, we got two more fish here. Two more fish to fry. I'm going to add some more Wink of Stella to these fish.
Yeah.
We want nice, healthy, shiny
I think I
fish.
missed a couple of spots, maybe.
That is okay. Again, this is an artistic effect.
Change. I like the Wink of Stella on the water stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's awesome. I don't know why I want to go that way.
You can, you just have to put it in on the other side.
Exactly.
Alrighty, and then we just have our sentiment here. We'll keep that one, and maybe we won't put any Wink of Stella on it and keep it for the inside. Alright, and then we got that to cut out, and then we're assembling. I do like the mini for traveling with.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah, it fits in my little tote. It comes with me on the airplane, whatever I need it to go. Perfect. Okay, and then we've got our little label here. Yeah, you can pop it there. Yeah, that's fine.
And keep track.
Yep. Alrighty, so we can get rid of that because now we're assembling. And I wanted to show you because I know getting these layers to all line up and be straight, that could be a struggle as well. So I've got tear and tape. We're going to use tear and tape instead of glue, which seems counterintuitive.
Yeah,
because the glue gives you a little wiggle room. Yeah, but
I still have trouble getting it.
Yeah,
I think I'm straight, and then when I get it down
yeah,
there, I look and I think.
So what we're going to do is we're going to use the tear and tape, and we're going to make a little frame on the back of our designer series paper, just like this. And you can use scissors to cut it, or you can just tear it like this.
This is what you were explaining to me when we were traveling.
Yes, and it's very hard. It's very hard to describe while you're driving.
Yeah.
There's a little dog hair in there. Where did that come from?
Oh, I get it all the time.
All right, so we've got our little frame on there, and I'm going to use the pick end of it. Take your pick tool, and this is the little hooked one because I just like it. And I'm just going to kind of, until I catch on that end and can pull up a bit, and then give it just a bit of a dog ear like that. I'll let you do the other two here. So just pull it up a little ways, and then give it a little bit of a dog ear.
That's so cool.
Try that out. I love that pick for peeling off backings and stuff.
Oh, I have this, I think.
All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to put this on our card base, and it's just actually going to float on those little dog ears. So we can easily line it up, and when it's straight, you just tack down the corners. And if it's not fully straight, you can actually pull it up because you've just lightly tacked those corners, but it's actually good. So then you just go, maybe, nails are a challenge too.
Mm-hmm.
You can just pull that strip out and go zoop and pull it out, so and then zoop and pull that one out. And then you can do it. You have to do the sound effects. There you go. You got it.
Cool idea, Laura.
Yeah, so that's an easy way to do those layers.
That is so cool.
Because you can really adjust things.
Yeah, you've got some wiggle room.
Totally, totally. Alrighty, so now I think what we'll do is we'll glue that on, and then we'll dimensionalize our little sentiment, and we can throw some fish on there wherever our little fish fit.
Perfect.
So why don't I throw some dimensionals on the back of this stuff? You can glue that down.
Okay.
And we'll teamwork this if I can find the dimensionals. I'm just going to put one dimensional in the middle so that the fish kind of curl and look like they're actually swimming.
Like a real fish.
Like a real fish. We just watched Pinocchio the other day.
Oh, did you?
I'm a real boy.
Oh, I haven't watched that forever.
Yeah, I hadn't either.
I like the kids shows.
Me too. Me too. Animated talking animals are my jam.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Aww.
I don't like the live action talking animals.
No.
They freak me out. But the animated ones. Bolt and Over the Hedge.
I could watch kids shows all night rather than adult shows.
Just putting this on for the inside here. And here, a little fish on the inside.
I like the inside. That's cute. I'm looking at colors.
And you can use, if you're having trouble lifting the dimensional off the back, you can use actually, and I don't even use the point, I actually use the curve of the hook to kind of pull it up.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it can help. Especially like I've had nails now, and I found that's one of the things I found really difficult to do is pull the backings off things.
Aren't long.
Well, they were long. I had to cut them for work.
I think when we went away, they were
yes,
long.
yeah. And like I said, you don't have to use them all.
No.
You can, but you don't have to.
More the better.
Spoken like a fisherman.
Yeah, exactly.
Alrighty, let's glue this on the inside. And then we've got some embellishments we can add to the outside because nothing is ever done until there's embellishments on it. Oh, we can use the putty tip for that. There you go. So just give it a little sideways push and then it'll pop right up on, you can stick it down where you need it. Oh, I just noticed that there's a rhinestone stuck to my ink pad. Goodness gracious. I'm sure that never happens to anyone else.
I had one stuck on my dog the other day.
Yeah.
I thought, what's on your back? And it was a red rhinestone. I thought, where did that come from?
Too funny, too funny.
I thought, Dakota, you're decorated.
Dakota the drag dog.
Exactly. It was funny. It just looked weird.
Yeah.
Gotta put one more because I'm uneven. I count all the time.
I think one of those big ones right there. There we go. Perfect. Look at that.
Perfect.
Didn't that turn out great?
That turned out really good.
And this is the one that we did before. So they're a little bit different, but same idea.
That's awesome.
And I love how they turned out. And you got to color.
I know. And
yeah.
I colored and I didn't even realize I'm doing it.
And you didn't get frustrated.
Yeah. That was so easy.
Yeah.
I love that. That's the greatest idea.
I'm so happy for you.
I'm going to try it on some flowers now.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, because I could color everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like even people. I wonder how it would work.
I actually, one of the ones that I pulled out, it's not people, is the Zany Zoo ones.
Oh,
and you know how there's like the little tutu and stuff?
Yeah.
You can also just color parts of it. So you could color like just the hat or just the tutu or just a scarf or something like that too, right? And because you're not putting the color exactly, it's going to be a little bit artistic, it's going to be a little bit painterly. You can just add those kind of splashes of color too.
Oh, that's a good idea too. Yeah. I'll have to try that. That'll be good.
All right. I hope you guys enjoyed that. I know that we had a good time and learned something today. So enjoy the rest of World Card Making Day. Happy stamping.
Thank you. Enjoy World Card Making Day.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.